Morning, everybody. It is Friday, April the 3rd, and I told you that this would be the day where we try to get more information about AP exams. And last night at 7 o'clock, they had a College Board webinar that I attended where they were kind of running through all the information for the AP exams. It's about 9:30 right now, and there's going to be some more information, probably streamlined, that's going to be presented on College Board website. But I can certainly go over the information with you now so far as to what the significant changes, and they're certainly significant, to the AP exam is going to be for us this year. But on the College Board, you'll certainly be able to find more information that will be tailored to other AP exams that you'll be taking, and I'm sure your teachers are going to be touching base with you as well in those other classes as to what's going to be happening on those exams. So the first part of the information that we were going over last night was pretty much things that we already kind of knew. So far as the exam's going to be administered electronically, and so there was an effort being made by College Board that if any student needs anything so far as tech support, so whether that be actual hardware, whether it be help with data plans, the Wi-Fi is in and out where you're at. Data is hard to come by where you're at so far as reception, or you're on a limited data plan. Any kind of technology issue, you are to contact by April the 24th the College Board. And what they are asking is that you go through the website cb.org/tech. So if you have any technical concerns about you being able to take the AP exam, via laptop, phone, iPad, anything along those lines, this would be the place to contact. You are not supposed to go through school at all. One of the reasons that they wanted to administer the test online in this way, in a streamlined fashion, was so that guidance counselors and a lot of people who end up being responsible for College Board test administration are able to focus on their jobs instead of worrying about making sure everyone has what they need at school and AP exams. So any technical issues, any technology concerns that you would have, cb.org/tech. Now you can certainly let me know that you have a concern, but aside from me telling you go to cb.org, I probably won't have a lot of other information to give you. The setup for the exam with the 45 minutes was the idea that this test could be taken at home, but should there be a return to school, that it's something then that can be taken within like one classroom, within one class setting. Who knows what the circumstance is going to be like, when we come around to that point. But the idea with the 45 minutes was it's something that you could focus on taking at home, or it's something that could be done pretty much within like a class period on a regular school day. When you are taking the test, you're pretty much only going to use one device to retrieve and submit. So you are going to receive your test question and passage on a device, and you're going to submit it through that same device. So if I use a phone to look at my test question to log in, I have to submit my answer through the phone. And so, for a lot of folks, I think the hope would be then that a laptop or a desktop would be available. You do have the ability to write your essay, to write your response on paper, and then take a picture with your phone and submit. So if I access the test, on my phone, I can then write my answer on a piece of paper. I can then use my phone to take a picture and submit. If I access the question on a laptop, but I want to handwrite my answer, I'm going to have to handwrite my answer, take a picture with my phone, take that picture from my phone, get it to the laptop, and submit through the laptop. So there's certainly a lot of multiple steps that are going to be going on. One of the good things, and I'll get to this in a little bit, is they are in late April going to be receiving, some more testing information, and also they're going to give you the opportunities to kind of practice a little bit so far as this AP testing guide that is going to have like practice submission techniques. So you can literally find out which response, which way is going to be better for you, which method, typing up an essay, handwriting an essay, taking a picture, and all those things. So, which form would I recommend? I really can't at this point. But that's where come late April here in a few weeks, we'll be able to kind of practice those kind of submission techniques to find out which one is going to be best for you. All right, test security, because this is something that people certainly have a question about when it comes to taking an AP test or taking an online test. Uh, how is this going to be secure? Well, the College Board has acknowledged that they can't monitor what you do when it comes to looking up things on Google. So it's not that there is going to be a screenshot of your laptop or anything like that while you are taking the test. It is considered to be an open book test, so you can take a look at textbooks, you can take a look at notes and things like that. The only thing that they said is all test content is being screened ahead of time so that there is not questions or information that can be accessed online through a search engine like Google or whatever the case may be. So they know that they're just taking a little snippet of the test, and so they're taking a part of the test that they feel that cannot be researched, on Google or whatever. And keep in mind, you could have an open book test when it comes to an essay. If you were doing not a DRQ, but a TWA about Slaughterhouse-5, I could let you use your book, but that doesn't mean you should be looking in your book for 15 minutes when that's taking away from your writing time. So the tests are really going to be focusing on your application of skill that you have learned within your courses. So there's this focus on applying your content, not necessarily testing you on remedial content. And for all of the tests, the idea is they are taking the parts that best correlate with the total exam score. So the performance that students traditionally do on this part of the test that matches up with their overall score, that's the part that's going to get reduced down to these 45 minutes. So for us in AP English Language and Composition, that means that we are going to be looking at the second free response question, which is going to be rhetorical analysis. So traditionally, the rhetorical analysis is the question that best predicts how students will do on an overall AP exam. And so your AP exam for English is just going to be question number 2, rhetorical analysis, TWA. So there's going to be a passage, and with that passage, you're obviously going to be analyzing it. As I said, you can choose to type or handwrite your response. That's something that we'll kind of probably practice and figure out a little bit as we start to see what these different submission techniques are, but that's a decision that you ultimately make. It's not one that I would have to do for you. They did say that the prompt, the passage is going to be a little bit shorter so that it's easier to scroll through the prompt. So if you are using a cell phone to look at the prompt, you don't have to scroll the whole way through over and over again to try to get to a part of the passage that you want to look at. It should be a shorter prompt. Now the idea is you're still going to be writing a full TWA. So an intro, conclusion, 2 body paragraphs, maybe 3 are going to be in the cards for you. So it's not that your answer is going to be shorter, but the passage length is going to be a little bit briefer. One other thing too, because they still have AP scores, but instead of them looking at 3 essays, you have all these AP scores that are only going to be looking at 1 essay. So more people are going to read your essay, which I think does help with the overall validity of it. So that's good where that if you have a score, and there could be a concern that, hey, this person just didn't understand what it was that I was trying to get across, you'd have now another person, 2 or 3 folks who would be taking a look at your one response as opposed to just one that they've been doing in the past. The rubric is supposed to still be the same. And again, we'll get some more information about this, but as of right now, the rubric is the same, which is a 6-point rubric. Your AP score is a 5-point scale. So how does that AP rubric correlate to your overall AP score? The short answer is, I don't know. That wasn't something specific that they were kind of getting into. I'm hoping that that'll kind of be released with some of the more material later today and maybe some things that we find out when it comes to that AP testing guide. So, obviously if you get a 6 on the essay, that would, correlate to being a 5 on the AP exam. I don't know if it would be something as simple as if you get a 3 on the essay, you get a 3 on the exam. If you get a 4 on the essay, you get a 4 on an exam. 5 or 6 becomes a 5. With more people reading, your rubric score, could be decimal. So you could have a 5.5 or maybe a 4.33, with multiple scores being averaged together and coming up with an overall score. So how your rubric score correlates to that overall AP exam, that's an unknown still at this point. I do not know, but that's something that I'll certainly be trying to find out in the near future so that we can get a better grasp of that. But the idea is the rubric is still going to be used. We're still going with that 6-point rubric that we've been using all year long. Mentioned to you that there's going to be an AP testing guide that's going to be released in late April, and I think this will take care of a lot of the questions that you're going to have about the overall setup of the exam. You'll see how it's going to look on a screen. You'll be able to practice submission techniques. You'll be able to practice the timing of it. They'll have sample prompts that you can work on, and that's really going to be important because there is not a proctor for the test. You can certainly have a clock and alarm going off in your room, letting you know how many minutes you have left, but there's not going to be a proctor announcing that you have 5 minutes left, you have 6 minutes left, or anything like that. So one of the things that you're going to have to kind of practice a little bit is, that overall timing. Certainly, the majority of the essays that we've done, TWAs, have been 40-minute essays. So you could look at this as kind of being a little bit of a benefit that you get 45. You get those extra 5 minutes, to kind of work things out. So you certainly do have some time, to get the job done. And the good thing for us, and I know a lot of folks, understandably, are concerned that, all right, my AP exam is going to boil down to one essay question. The good news is it's probably the essay question, the type of question that we have focused on the most throughout the course of the year. We've done some synthesis, we have done some DRQs, but the vast majority of our writing assignments, take home or TWA, have been rhetorical analysis. The Invisible Man essay that you're doing right now with Motif is still a rhetorical analysis essay. So I know some people like rhetorical analysis, some people do not like rhetorical analysis at all, but it's at least one that you have the most exposure, familiarity with the types of question. You know that your thesis statement, you're going to be able to do a SPA, that kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about the unknown of, well, what are the sources going to be like for my synthesis essay? There is the unknown as to what's the passage going to be, but there's going to be a passage there to help you. Whereas if it was a DRQ, and it was a question, a concept that you hadn't really thought about before, and the ideas have to come from your mind, that can make it much more stressful, I think, for some folks. So at least you know what it is that we're dealing with, and it's something that we've had a lot of experience and practice with. When it comes to test security, again, one other thing to mention besides practice time, anyone who has accommodation such as extended time, and that is in the College Board system, it will be automatically granted. So I have 45 minutes to do my exam. If I get extended time such as 50%, that'll be known in the system, and so rather than me getting 45 minutes, I'll actually be getting 67, 68, minutes to complete it. So if anyone has any kind of testing accommodations, extended time being the most common of those, that's automatically going to be granted and set up within your testing scenario. The main thing that they're certainly emphasizing is there's not to be any interaction with other individuals, so there shouldn't be, social media group chats, conversations, phone calls, anything like that while the test is going on. They are not disclosing all of the protocols that they're going to go through in order to find any, instances of cheating, but they certainly did let us know about some things, one of those being multi-step access to the exam. So it's not just going to be one kind of simple little thing that you do, but there's a lot of steps that you're going to have to go through, and I'm assuming security questions that would be based on what they already know about you and your account. But also I think part of what the things that they're going to be doing for that access to the exam, taking a look at writing and typing techniques and things like that, so to make sure that what you submit matches up with what would be your typical, whether it be rate at typing, writing, the word formation, sentence structure, but they said they're going to be looking at writing and typing techniques. All essays are going to be scanned through plagiarism software, whether it be Turnitin or some kind of other system, but that's going to be part of it. And this is the interesting thing, because this has never happened before. Teachers are going to receive copies of student work. I don't know precisely when, but your essay that you do for rhetorical analysis, I'm going to receive a copy of. So I think that's where they're also going to kind of rely on teachers somewhat, where if there's anything that just seems to be an outlier, because I know how you write, and it's not that I'm going to be looking to try to bust people, but teachers are receiving copies of student work, I think, so that they finally can have another layer of protection in seeing how students are writing, and to see if there's any issues or abnormalities that tend to kind of show up. All right, but obviously do this on your own. There's no reason to cheat. And again, the AP exam is an opportunity for you to kind of showcase yourself. This isn't your final exam grade. This isn't part of your semester grade. It's pretty much an opportunity here that you're looking at. So that there's no reason to try to change it into something that it's not, where you feel that you have to get that 5 or whatnot. trust yourself, trust your skill. You guys are solid students. You're exceptional students. So trust yourself with the whole process. All right, testing dates. The testing window is going to be from May 11th, or excuse me, May 11th through May 22nd. And they're going with these dates because these are the dates that students, when they were doing a poll, that students just said that they would be most interested when they would want to have the exam, so that it's not getting kind of pushed back to later times. Our testing date specifically, and I'll have a full schedule posted on Google Classroom, but our testing date specifically is going to be Wednesday, May the 20th, and that's a 2 p.m. exam. So it's not 8 a.m. in the morning, which is probably nice. They were advertising, when they first started talking about this online test, that there would be 2 dates that you could choose from. Our makeup date is June the 4th, and they really didn't say anything about this whole idea of choosing 2 dates, so I'm guessing this is what they kind of meant by it. But do not choose June 4th as your testing time. Like, you're going to take the test on May the 20th. Now, if there is some kind of conflict going on for whatever reason that's outside of your control, sure, it's got to be on Thursday the 4th, but you want to save this date in case there's any kind of technology failures. Your battery runs out on your laptop or your iPad. There's a power outage in the neighborhood. Someone does become ill. You don't want to rely on June 4th being your testing date, and then you have one of these things take place, because that's basically going to invalidate what your test score is. So the testing date is May the 20th, so that's about a week later than what we were scheduled to do, but it's still going to be in May. And you don't have to worry about any kind of keystone exams or anything else like that going on that would be getting in the way of it. So May 20th. And today is April the 3rd, so that still gives us a lot of time to be able to kind of prepare. And we also know that we're doing rhetorical analysis, so we know precisely what it is that we'll be preparing for. So we'll certainly be doing some exercises, and there'll be some TWAs and some other things, not all essay writing just to kind of get ready for that one essay. But we'll be doing some things to try to make sure you're in the best frame of mind. And then that's going to start with Slaughterhouse-5, even with some things that we're going to do next week. Even though we're doing multiple choice tests, we'll still take a look at some rhetorical analysis of the book, which I was planning on doing anyway, even before knowing that this was going to be our AP exam. One thing, and not that anyone has asked me about this, but question kind of pops up. Hey, can I take another AP exam? Since it's 45 minutes, I'm taking CHS Business Calc. I want to try to take AP Calc, or I'm in U.S. History, but I want to do U.S. Government and Politics. AP exams are not open to students who are not already enrolled in the course. So if you have not enrolled in AP course, you're not going to be taking that AP exam. All right. Resource for you, there's a link here. YouTube, go to YouTube/advanced placement. They do have online tutorial and course work for all AP courses that you can take a look at. This is something that we will be doing together as a class. Maybe not all the videos. I think there's 8 of them posted. But I do foresee in the upcoming weeks some Edpuzzle activities where we take a look at doing some of the YouTube activities. A lot of the lessons on YouTube with rhetorical analysis are focused around the Abigail Adams letter that she wrote to her son, John Quincy Adams, which we took a look at already. So there's some familiarity with that passage, with that question, and so I could see us doing some Edpuzzle with some of those video tutorials that are available. All right, so again, the whole idea of this was just to give you an overview of what those AP exam changes are going to be. So that it's going to be rhetorical analysis question. Again, one that we have some familiarity with. I certainly understand that if some people are feeling a little apprehensive about this, but hey, we got plenty of time to get folks ready. I'm confident. I know that you're ready. I'm kind of relieved that it's rhetorical analysis question, knowing that that's something that we've done, and also knowing traditionally that North Hills students with rhetorical analysis tend to perform, we've always performed higher than what that national average is. So I consider it a strength, even if it's something that, maybe not all of us consider to be a strength. I think it's something that we should be pretty good with, all right? So questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me, but I want to get this information out to you as soon as I could. Have a good one. Enjoy the weekend. Take care, guys.